Hello and welcome friends. Today we will be discussing about the transportation injuries. It means that the injury which we are getting or which we get during our movement and during our transport or during our vehicle movement from one place to another. And we will be having a long discussion on various injuries to the people who are walking on the streets, people who are crossing these streets, and many more about the cyclist injuries, about the motorcyclist injuries, and the person who are sitting in the cars, person who are not sitting beside the drivers on the back, and the railway accident injuries, the aircraft injuries. So it is a very long topic, but we will try to make it interesting from slide by slide and hope that it is very well and well adjusted and well discussed topic today. Let's have the injuries that are being very much fatal or very much violent, and most of the time it is because of the acceleration or deceleration, or something is accelerating or something is violently decelerating. If somebody is sitting in the car and it is moving at a constant speed, there are chances that no injury can happen. But the car is suddenly stopped, then there is a change in an inertia of the person and there are chances of injury. Similarly, if someone is standing and a running vehicle comes to hit, then there is a chances of accelerated injuries. So we will be dealing with all such things and we will be dealing with certain definitions and formulas. Before going to that, mechanism of vehicular injury, it is most important to the extent of injury sustained is directly proportional to the degree of acceleration or deceleration. Degree of acceleration or deceleration to which the occupant of the vehicle is subjected, to which the someone is being subjected, whether it is a driver or whether it is a pedestrian, depending upon how much the acceleration or deceleration is applied. And we will be driving a formula from that, how much g force or the energy is being transmitted to that person so that the injury can be caused. A constant speed is, however rapid, has no effect. If a person is or a car or a train or something is moving at a constant speed with no obstacles, then the chances are no injury is there. It is a change in the rate of the rate that is traumatic. Change in the rate of the movement traumatic, that is acceleration or deceleration. Sudden acceleration or sudden deceleration. This both can cause injury. The G formula, that is the force which is applied to the body, is used to calculate the mean force involved in the real life accident. So we will be having a formula here, that is G, that is the amount of force, is equal to K is the constant, V is the velocity square, D is the distance required or covered to stop the vehicle. Then it is a impact of deceleration force may be calculated from, it is a deceleration force. Calculated means suddenly somebody strikes, two vehicles strike, one is strike to the wall or the tree or some other big vehicle. So it takes some time to stop or distance to stop. That distance is d, and it is the initial velocity which was the vehicle was having, and finally it's 0. So where is V is the initial impact of the speed, D is the stopping distance, K is the constant in miles here, 0.034. If we go in the kilometer, then it is 0.0039. So we can calculate from here any of the G force. If we have distance and velocity, So we can calculate the formula, and we can, from that we can calculate the how much injury can happen, how much the things can be avoided. Then most of the vehicles which are being designed nowadays use this formula to give you 5-star ratings, that whether various safety ratings are there. This most time this formula is being used there. So we will be having road traffic accident first, injury in the road traffic, that is how much we have a lot of too much volume of the road traffic in India nowadays. Everybody is having vehicle, one or two, and some people are still walking. So pedestrian injuries, those who are walking or crossing the street or walking beside the on the track, cyclist or motorcyclist injuries, those people who are moving through the bicycles and motorcycles, and the occupant of the four-wheelers or the three-wheelers. Then we will be having discussion on this. First of all, we will be taking up the pedestrian injuries, those people who are walking and being struck by the vehicle. Then these people are having injuries, and these called pedestrian injuries. There are various type of pedestrian injuries depending upon the impact. We will be impact and position of the pedestrian as well as the vehicle. So we will be discussing it in detail. Traffic accident can be of different types or can be of different name, like traffic accident, motor vehicle collision, motor vehicle accident, car accident, automobile accidents, road traffic collisions or road traffic accident. We can call it by different name, but almost the same meaning. Injuries to the pedestrian. Most pedestrians struck by motor cars or trucks and type of vehicle make a difference to the dynamic of the impact. The trucks are higher vehicles, taller vehicles having flat end. Buses are having flat end front and the back. Motor vehicles, smaller vehicles, so they have taper end or the bonnet in front of it. So different injuries will be from the motor cars and the different injuries will be from the trucks. Trucks are bulkier, having more momentum trucks, and motor cars are lighter but having more speed. So we have with different dynamics playing here, and that will be affecting the injury of the person who is getting struck or getting turned down. And the type of vehicle make difference to the dynamics of the impact, which unlike injuries to the vehicle occupant is an acceleration, not a deceleration injury. So if a pedestrian is standing here or here, suppose a pedestrian is standing here, so if a car is just hitting, then it is that car is basically striking a standing person, then this person attains the speed of the vehicle, that is acceleration injuries. So this person will have most of the time acceleration injuries first, then this person will fall down on the ground, then he will have deceleration injuries. So first it has acceleration injuries, then it has deceleration injuries. So we will be having that dynamics here also. So it is called as pattern of injuries called the impact injuries, means that the person is being impacted or struck by the vehicle. Secondary injuries means the person has fallen from the vehicle to the ground or some other vehicle due to victim falling on ground or striking by any other stationary object. Then the run over injuries, these are due to vehicle running over the some part of the victims or some other vehicle also running over. So we will be having different impacts and different dynamics of it. Impact injuries can further be divided into primary impact injury and the secondary impact injury. Primary impact injury is initial impact of the vehicle. The first contact is called primary impact injury. Projection of the vehicle may cause specific injuries like bumpers of the car or most front part of the car and the number plates, grills, headlamps. These are the most front part of the vehicle. So these may strike the person very prominently and have impact on it. Height of the pedestrian is determining factor. Depending, we will be discussing about the height of the pedestrian, and the height of the pedestrian means the center of the gravity of the pedestrian, which is generally in the abdomen. It will decide the person will fall on the ground or person will fall on the vehicle, same vehicle, or person will not fall on the ground or the vehicle or will scoop up. We will have different terminology on that. Secondary impact injuries means subsequent impact with the same vehicle. It means the person has been struck and fallen on the same vehicle. First struck here and fallen on the same vehicle. So we will be having discussion on that also. Secondary injuries usually found on the part opposite to the primary impact. Primary impact is if it is here, then the person may fall on the ground, then it is the secondary injuries. Most pronounced on the unclothed areas of the body. These are open and not covered by the clothes. Then we have run over injuries. Severity of injury will depend upon the part. Run over means if a car is here and somebody is lying after accident, lying is there and the car goes and this person goes inside below the car, then it is the run over injuries, and severity of injury will depend upon the weight of the vehicle, speed of the vehicle and the person lying beneath it. Example, degloving injuries, tire marks, burn, avulsion, abrasion, bruises, scratch abrasion, depending upon how much time it has been dragging, how much time it has been beneath the car. We have different stories in different newspaper of dragging the person behind the car because of some of the clothes are being stuck or some body parts are being stuck in the car below fenders. So these are the very common phenomena in day-to-day traffic. We will be having discussion on that also. This is the picture which depicts the type of injuries. Primary impact, the bumper of the car is here. It strikes the person on the leg and the person secondary impact, person falls on the same vehicle, that is the person is falling on the same vehicle, may injure the pelvis, may injure the head. This is called secondary impact injury. But when the person falls on the ground, then it is called secondary injuries that can lead to head injury or any other injuries. So we should be having clear picture of the classification, and according to that we should be able to analyze the people's injuries in the ER, emergency wards, or in the mortuary, whether it is a primary impact injury, whether it is a secondary injury. Most of the time it is very difficult to differentiate, but we should be having in mind about the various aspect of it. Primary impact in detail, these injuries caused by a vehicle when it is first struck or hit the person crossing the road from one side to another side, walking with or against the traffic. Person is walking and crossing the roads. The importance of primary impact injury is that the body of the victim may bear design pattern. Sometimes particular logo of the car, particular design of the grille, particular design of the headlamp or the bumper can leave imprint on the victim. So we can trace it back. Particular paint, sometimes very unique paint material can also lead by forensic scientists to the car which has struck. Different parts that can struck is bumper, wing, grills, headlights, fenders, radiators. It is now where radiators are very nowadays very safe material made. Initially used to be made of very hard metal, so it used to be a very prominent radiator injuries. Door handles now very sleek designed. Initially used to be made of metals, and most of the time they cause injury to the person, and various injuries used to be here. Depending upon, now we have, depending upon the where the vehicle has struck the person, the injury will be depending upon that. Was the pedestrian struck by the front of the car, means straight on collision, or pedestrian struck by side of the car, means somebody has side kicked by the vehicle. Pedestrian standing on the road then struck, pedestrian walking on the road then struck. Was the pedestrian lying on the road, some drunk person lying on the road, or some, now in India we have another common problem is that people are not having proper shelter, so they are sleeping on the footpaths. Sometimes a drunk driver can run over them, so that is another phenomena. If the vehicle was braking violently, if the person was applying the brake on the car at the moment impact, then the front of the vehicle dips. When we will try to stop, then the bumper of the car tries to dip, but when we accelerate, then the bumper of the car is uplifted. So from that we can get the certain idea of the injury. Injury comprises damage up to the skin, fracture of the bone. Very common fracture is known as bumper fracture. It is the bumper which strikes the legs or the tibia, so we call it bumper fracture. Bumper fractures are wedge shaped and the base is triangular base, and fragment indicate the site of impact and the apex pointing towards the direction. It is the impact and it is the force. We will be showing in the next slide. So impact and the force. Frequent bumper injuries at different level of two legs or absent on one leg. It can be if person is moving or standing. If he is standing, then both the legs are involved. If person is running, then one leg may be involved, or maybe just walking, depending upon that. And then depending upon that also we have different types of fractures. If a person is standing, then maybe we have simple fracture. If a person is walking, then we have a spiral fractures. Depending upon that, this is the bumper fracture. Car is hitting here, the bumper impact, then there is a fracture is like that here. The wedge shaped fracture, this is the base and this is the apex.